Alright, hello everybody, this is Racket here with another servant review video. This one's going to be on the upcoming welfare servant Nightingale Santa. I just recently did a video kind of covering what that event is going to be like, how to get Nightingale, the different aspects to farming and such. So if you want to find out a little bit more about that event, then I'll be sure to add the video up in the top corner here so that you can go and watch that one. But this video is going to be centered more towards the actual servant and just the skills, the command cards, all that good stuff. Alright, starting with the command cards setup that Nightingale has, we have 2 green, 2 blue, and 1 red card at 4 hits, 3 hits, and 3 hits respectively, and a 5-hit extra card. Here are all the other stats here, but that's kind of what I wanted to quickly go over. Alright, the next piece to go over is all of the active skills that Nightingale has, starting with the first skill here. It's on a 5-turn cooldown. Each of the effects is AoE, so we have one of the latest buffs are being removed from each of the enemies, all of them here, so it's really nice to be able to just strip, well, in this case, all of the enemies on their team of their latest buff. So just kind of keep in mind what buff they were able to get last. That's going to be the one that it removes. So for instance, if the enemy has invincibility and on their turn they did an attack up buff, and you were hoping to get rid of that invincibility, in that instance it would get rid of the attack up buff because that would have been the latest buff. Regardless, it still takes off a buff, so it is quite nice. The other part here is a removal of 1 latest debuff from the party. So again, this is AoE, but it's for your party, so this is doing good for your team, as well as recovering party's HP up to 3,000. So each of these skills is essentially a 1-turn because they just happen immediately, although it doesn't say that. It just happens the turn that you activate it. So you'll be sitting at a 5-turn cooldown, but all of this is AoE, one thing taking away from the enemy in a buff and then the debuff for the party, so altogether it is good utility. Now we'll take a look at the second skill that Nightingale has. It's a targetable 1-time guts for an ally over 3 turns, which gives an 1000 HP revival, so it's nothing too high, but it's definitely not absurdly low, so there's potential if you're fighting weaker enemies that they might still be able to survive with this, but just kind of keep that in mind that they're going to be coming back with 1000, and then increases the buff removal resistance for 3 turns, which is nice as well. Again, this goes to the targeted ally, so they'll be getting the guts as well as this effect here. And the last effect here is increases the NP damage for 3 turns. So the buff removal resistance is 100%, so you're pretty safe on that, and then the NP damage goes up 30%, which is also quite nice. This is all targetable, so you can use this on Nightingale or any of the other members of your party that you want them to get these effects. It sits at a 7-turn cooldown, so it's, again, another good kind of utility for a specific teammate on your team. Now we'll be taking a look at the third and final skill that Nightingale has. It's pretty short and sweet, but it gives a party attack up for 3 turns at 20%, and a crit damage party up for 3 turns on 30% with a 6-turn cooldown. So pretty good uptime. It'll be up half of the time, and the different buffs multiply into each other, and they're sitting at some pretty fair numbers. Again, 20% for an attack up is pretty good, and then 30% again for the entire party. It's just another good offensive skill, and everybody gets to take advantage of it. Now, the last of the skills that Nightingale has, we'll be taking a look at the passive skills as well as the Append Skill, specifically the third one, because that's going to be the difference for Nightingale. Everybody gets the extra attack and NP gauge, but the third skill depends on what class it's effective to and kind of what it does. But we'll start off with the passive skill here, which is a magic resistance rank C, which is a debuff resistance by 15% for Nightingale, so not too bad. Again, always would like this to be a bit higher, but it definitely helps. And then we got Independent Action A+, which is a crit damage by 11% increase, which again helps. And with Nightingale's third skill, this percentage just adds on to that percentage, so it's nice. Nightingale will have some crit capability in that instance. And then a Madness Enhancement all the way at an EX ranking for the one red card that Nightingale has, but again, up by 12% is always nice to see. Now we'll take a look again at that Append Skill. Again, the extra and NP gauge is pretty universal, but it'll be an anti-Avenger attack damage. So if you want to get this for Nightingale, it'll help against Avenger enemies. So that's ultimately up to you if you want to grab that Append Skill or not. Last but not least here, we'll be taking a look at the Noble Phantasm, which is quick based. Nightingale has 2 of these green cards, so you'll be able to make a chain out of this if you happen to get all of the green cards that Nightingale has in her deck. But we'll be taking a look here. It's a rank B. It damages all of the enemies, it removes their offensive buffs, and it has a very high 500% chance to remove their ailment debuffs. Not that big of a demerit, honestly, for your poison, burn, and curse. This would really kind of hamper servants who are directly affected by having these debuffs up on the enemy, but in most cases this won't really do a whole lot to demerit you for using the NP, but in specific and certain cases this can be a more of a heavy demerit, so just keep this one in mind. But it starts off at 600%, but since Nightingale is a welfare servant, you'll have the ability to easily get her at NP5. And then there's a reduction to the enemy's defense at a 10%, so 6 hits on this NP, so it's a bit of a higher hit count, not too bad, so you'll be able to get some sort of refund for your NP and such with this, but overall that is the NP. So basically that'll be it for this servant review of Nightingale Santa. Again, this is the next event that's going to be happening very shortly. If you don't have Nightingale Santa, now's your chance to grab her. Those are all the skills, the NP, everything that you would kind of need to know about what Nightingale is capable of doing. So be sure to grab Nightingale when you have the chance to in this event. As always, I'll be looking at doing more FGO content in the future, so if that's something that you're interested in, consider subscribing to the channel and leave a like if you think this video deserves one. Always feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. I'll definitely be looking at trying to respond to those. And yeah, just stay in tune for more videos going up in my channel in the future. Thanks for watching, everyone.